I sort out getting up to Norway? Well,
No, not that. No.
I went and bought a load of maps.
Back up the truck.
Oh, back up truck.
Unless you want to do it right now.
Unless I want to do it right now.
I was thinking.
So was I.
This is the last. So this is the last day of.
Oh, is that what you were thinking?
This is the last.
I was thinking that sheep's got stuck in the feed up there.
Has it?
Looks like it.
It's probably just gone right in, hasn't it?
So how did I sort out? Why did I want to go to Norway in the first place? Well, I watched a video. The video was Norwegian trolls or something like that, which I'll have to redo because we'll have to redo this video because I can't remember the exact name of it. So, but I watched that and I also just fancied going to Norway because I don't like really hot weather. So I thought we'll go somewhere cold. But then it turned out to be quite warm.
Why are you talking in that weird voice?
I don't know. And
Right.
then I just got maps and I looked on TripAdvisor and I looked at different things which said about Norway.
Tell me.
And I also went to the Manchester
Trailfinder?
Trailfinder.
No, sorry, I was finishing your sentence.
I went to the Manchester travel show and spoke to a few different people there. And one of them was the photography courses what you could go on for about £4,000. And I thought, I can do that cheaper myself to go and see bears in Norway. So I did, and it cost me 300 quid. So
tell me about tell me about the map that came.
Oh, the map that came.
When you bought it second hand.
I bought it second hand because my daughter said it's a really good company to buy from. And I got half a map. Don't know where the other half were. But,
you were a bit disappointed, weren't you?
Yeah. Anyway, I rang them. No, I emailed them and they said send a picture. So I sent a picture and they sent me another map, which was actually better than the first map because it was full, but it was actually a better quality one, even though it said on the line, online, it's not as good. On the line. Online, it wasn't as good quality. It was actually a better quality one. Having said that, I don't think I could sell it now because I've used it that much. I think it's
highlighted, starred, stickers on it. Oh, sorry, I'm telling everybody what we did next.
So then I got the map and I started plotting where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And then from where I plotted where I want to go, I also looked at the scenic routes on the map because the maps, physical maps, are actually quite good sometimes, much better than Google Maps because Google Maps don't tell you the scenic routes and stuff like that. So I then plotted all the scenic routes, highlighted all the scenic routes and looked at a plot of the route all the way up and
Can
all
I
the way
ask you a
back.
question?
You can ask me a question anytime. Just butt in anytime. Anybody wants to butt in, just butt in anytime.
So, what were maybe the 2 or 3 things that you plotted that you really wanted to go and see that informed the rest of the planning?
Bears.
Bears where? Any bears?
Any bears, anywhere.
Right.
In Finland.
Of course, you give me about 10 to look at, didn't you? And said, yeah, I remember when we
see which you like best of them.
Yeah, and then we got it down to 1, didn't we? Was it the one that was furthest away?
No.
No,
not necessarily.
It was the one in Russia, wasn't it? On the border.
Well, not in Russia.
No, sorry, in Finland, on the border.
On the border. It might have been a Russian bear. It probably was a Russian bear.
So when you told me we were going to the Russian border for our holidays, at this particular time in history, when they are attacking another country, I was really excited about going.
Oh, was you?
I was back at news.
You wanted
when
to
I told everybody where we were going, they were like, what? So you always do the opposite to everybody else. You like to fly in the face of danger and take risks.
I'm not going to go to Ukraine, am I?
No, you are sensible. I'm not. I'm just... It's nothing to do with
Kirkenes was the top of Norway, and that's close to the Russian border as well.
So I interrupted. You wanted to go to some bears.
Yeah.
And Nordkapp, I imagine, would be one.
Well, yeah.
You weren't bothered.
Yeah, I wanted to go there. I wanted to see some reindeer in wild.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Lofoten Islands.
Oh right, yeah. Is that little group of islands off when we went from Bordeaux?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I remember.
So, and
So
I
those...
fancied going to Bergen and Stavanger and Tromsø and places like that as well. Having said that, we never went into Stavanger and we never went into Bergen. So yeah, that was how I started planning it. And then once I planned the route, I then started plotting the roughly where we'd stop.
Yeah.
Every couple of 100 kilometres I put a star and looked on Park for Nights.
Can I just stop you there a second? I am so glad that we didn't take this kitten with us for 7 weeks, because it's, you know, the lounge that I've just made look nice.
He's wrecked it.
The cushions are on the floor, the throws are on the floor. He's attacking Mickey, who's trying to sit there. Mickey was the perfect companion to come to Norway with us, wasn't he?
He was.
I mean, we didn't think so at the time, because he kept going to the toilet just as we went to bed.
It wasn't so much that, it was the scratching for hours afterwards.
But these two have actually, apart from what they're doing now, which they do maybe once a day, and then Mickey puts him in his place, they get on really well. So, yeah. So, back to the planning roughly where you wanted to stay then.
I then looked at Park for Night and searched for sites and sort of studied a lot of the different ones which had laundries, because after about 10 days we needed laundry. So I looked for places that had laundries, and then working back the in-betweenies, I looked at 3 to 4 nights off-grid.
Yeah.
And then a couple of nights on laundry. And when we stopped at a place that had laundry, I really looked at stopping there for a couple of days, and then once I'd plotted up to Nordkapp, well not Nordkapp, up to Kirkenes, I left 3 blank days just in case we were behind schedule and stuff, because the only thing we were fixed on was the ferries up there and the booking for the bear place. It's the only fixtures we had.
Just to interrupt, the sheep that you were a bit concerned about,
one's got out,
being stuck in the feeding pen, it's gone back out.
one of them has.
Yeah, it's gone back in, is that one? That one's been out and gone back in. Yeah.
So
that were good. So we stayed ahead of ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah. So then once I'd done all that lot, planned all that lot, I then looked at the ferries, which were the best way for us to go. And as I like ferries, I catch ferries.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I like ferries now.
So I went from Hook of Holland to... No, we went from Harwich to the Hook of Holland. And then we went up through... Go on, say, which order did we do them in?
Oh, don't put me on my geography test again. So Hook of Holland. Holland is in the Netherlands, which is Holland. Also gets called Netherlands. Well, this is what got me all mixed up. Scandinavia is the generic name, the collective name for Norway, Finland, and Sweden.
Denmark.
And Denmark, right? So after I'm just stalling because I can't remember what comes after Holland.
After Netherlands, it was Germany.
Germany, then Denmark.
Yeah, then Norway.
Then Norway, then up to the top, across to Finland, back from Finland through Sweden, back down Sweden and across to Denmark, then from Denmark back to Holland and then home.
No, Germany and then Holland.
Oh, Germany. Oh yeah, of course, because we went to them 2 times.
Yeah, I were planning to go via Latvia, Poland, Estonia and that, but
oh yeah, you couldn't.
I couldn't work out how to do the tolls in Poland, and I spoke to somebody in Poland, and they hadn't a clue how to do it either. So
because we're a 3.8 ton.
Yeah, we're over 3.5 tons, so it's done slightly differently.
And we're an HGV. In some people think we're an HGV, but we're a personal.
We're
HGV
a PHGV.
In some countries. Yeah. Well, it got a bit complicated, didn't it?
So then once I plotted all that lot, I then started to figure out how or timings for the ferries. So I then booked all the ferries.
We didn't have to book all of them though, did we?
Well, I booked 3 ferries, didn't I?
The main ones, yeah.
I booked the Harwich to Hook of Holland,
yeah.
Herschel's to Kristiansand,
yeah.
and I also did one from Helsinki across to, is it Riga, Estonia?
Oh yeah, originally,
but I ended up cancelling that one because of the issue with Poland, so we came back via the Øresund Bridge, via Sweden and Denmark.
This will all become apparent to those people who are visual like me. We'll put some maps up.
So after I'd booked that, we then booked the Bear Centre, and then what did I do next?
Tolls, I think.
Oh yeah, tolls. I had to sort all the...
At the front of the van we've got a little thing in the window, in the dash, up there, that little black rectangle.
It's called
and that's a brobies.
I had to sort the tolls out. That was a bit of a nightmare, because...
I'm glad you persevered though.
We had, because we were over 3.5 tonne, we had to go into different categories. So basically, I'll put websites up for you. You go onto the national website, the Norwegian national website, and they sort of guide you, but you have to put your registration and send you your V5, a copy of your V5 to register in the country, and then you go on to, they guide you to one of these companies that takes the tolls. There's several of them.
So Brobies
is one of them. There's E-toll and there's several. You've got to just decide which is the best for you, really, on that score.
Yeah, there's no advising one's better than any other.
Well, no, because it depends on your vehicle. Because I was over 3.5 tonne, I had to do it via a biz, a tag, because they wouldn't accept just ANPR.
Right, which is
how most of you or others will do it if you're under 3.5 tonne.
But you'll put the websites up for guidance.
Well, it's just that one website really. And then you register with the company you want to go with, which is, as far as we was concerned, with Brobies. It takes a week or two. They then send you a registration number. You then, for us, they then send us the Brobies, which you have to put a deposit down of about 300 krona, which is about 30 quid. And they have your bank account details, so every time you get bipped, it automatically takes the payment. You then,
when you go through the toll,
you go through the tolls, but that doesn't give you the access to the ferries, so then you have to go on to another website, which is, again, I'll write it up. It's the ferry one, it's the government one, and you have to register with them. Well, you don't have to register, but you register with them, and then you give your number of your biz onto their website, and then you have to send something like 3,000 krona, I think it is, for anything over 3.5 tonne. It might be less for smaller vehicles. You have to send that and put it into a holding deposit with them, and with that, once you've got that done, you then get 50%, up to 50% discount on all the ferries and on the tolls on the bridges.
So, for example,
tunnels.
How much did we save on the long bridge on
the Øresund Bridge? You've got to then register again if you're going to go onto that bridge, for going on that bridge. As long as you register before you get there, you can get 50% off, and we saved about 140 quid just on that bridge alone.
So it sounds like a bit of a faff, and it sounds like a bit of a task, but because you're going to be catching so many ferries and going through so many tolls, it's worth it if you're a cost, if you're cost conscious person like we are. if you're not cost conscious, go wing it and then hope that you've not got any fines when you get back because you've not paid within so many weeks.
You have a few weeks to get it paid at full price. If you don't, you then get fined.
Yeah.
So,
but because we were away for 7 weeks, we knew we might not. We had heard that people had got fined before they got home to be able to, they had every intention of paying it, but we didn't want to get caught.
I apologise for not looking into the camera because I'm camera shy and I'm looking at all the sheep on out there. So yeah, we saved quite a lot of money.
And don't forget, because he's such an organised person, it's actually quite good being married to somebody who's like this, because I couldn't be bothered with all that. I'm a fortnight in Benidorm person till I met you, weren't I?
Fortnight, yeah.
But
bringing donkeys home with you.
Yeah, I am very grateful because we're a good team, because he sorts out all that stuff online where you have to do the researching and things like that and places to go, and then I come in at the last minute to help out with the spreadsheet. We created a spreadsheet together, didn't we? So we knew that we were going to have access to laundries, as we said, every so many days. And then we looked on Park for Night and we put it all on a spreadsheet, so roughly how long it was going to take us to get from A to B each day, only roughly. We were not like rigidly stuck to it.
Well, if anybody wants a copy of it, I can email it to them.
Oh right, yeah.
But you'll have to contact me and send me a thing, because I haven't got a website to put it
and
on.
it was a good guide, because we aim to be on sites for or in wild parking places before tea. We were aiming for like 3-4 o'clock, weren't we?
Yeah.
Sometimes traffic meant that didn't happen, but we managed to stay a day ahead of ourselves all the way around, didn't we?
Yeah, but you do go slower than what you think, because the roads are slower.
Yeah.
They are good roads generally.
Yeah.
But
pull in for letting people pass.
You've got to think of being on holiday rather than racing round. If you want to get up really fast and get up to Nordkapp, you go up through Sweden. There's hardly any tolls, but it's, from what I'm told, the road up that road up isn't fantastic for scenery and stuff like that. You're just going through trees and flat land.
Yeah.
So which way around you go is up to you. We went clockwise.
The west coast.
But if we do it again, we'll go anti-clockwise. The only thing I think with anti-clockwise is you'll get the sun in your eyes more than you would going up.
That's something.
But I'm not sure. It depends on the time of the year you go, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we went mid-June.
Yeah. To
all
August.
of July to mid-August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
will I do it again? Yeah. Or if anybody wants
definitely do it again.
If anybody wants the actual route I did, I've got that printed off as well, because we've got security on the van where I can track where the vehicle has been. So I've printed that off. It's quite detailed, but if anybody wants it, you can have it.
For anybody who is serious about going and doing it.
And wants to do exactly the same as what we did, but I'm not so sure you'd want to.
Why not? It was perfect.
Well, it was good, yeah, but people want different things, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah. So
but it can be a guide if you wanted it. So yeah, that was what we do. As far as costs were concerned at the time, the fuel was very similar price to what it was in the UK. So that I wouldn't have said that was any more expensive.
That was mainly because the fuel in England had gone up this year.
Yeah, the price of food is more expensive, definitely.
Was it about a third again, did we say?
Yeah.
It wasn't like double, was it?
No.
It was, yeah. But we
took, go on.
My part of the planning was to fill the garage with all foodstuffs that are dry tinned packets. So all the cereals, pastas, toilet rolls, everything that you're gonna need. So washing powder, anything that you know you're going to need in 7 weeks, we took it and split it between 7 bag for life bags, and then stacked it all in the back, so that we weren't rooting to the back every time we were trying to find something. I tried to divvy up the snacks.
Yeah, you need more snacks than you think.
You realise, well, some people realise how many more snacks they go through than I thought. Putting,
Well, she did keep nicking my snacks.
We'll leave that one for another day. When you think a pack of, a 6-pack of crisps and a marathon, not marathon, they're called Snickers, aren't they? Snicker packet and something else per week, you think that'll be enough, but it turns out
it's not.
Somebody was dipping into the week after.
But somebody kept dipping into all my Snickers. Somebody kept eating all my Snickers.
So, as you can see, I'm not going to argue because I know different. We've got somebody in denial here. Anyway, so that's covered as a recap. Tolls and ferries.
Food. We didn't eat out. We only ate out 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. Oh yeah.
And one of them was like 30 quid for some fish soup.
Which was lovely. Yeah. We had a pizza out one night, which I'd say is about same.
Yeah, it was a similar price, wasn't it? 12, 13 quid.
Yeah. And really nice, really nice to eat out. But we've both been in catering, so we prefer our own cooking most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
I just go out when I want a
so
rest.
Cost-wise, yeah, if you eat out, we don't drink. Well, I don't drink alcohol, so. But that is ridiculously expensive, I believe.
Yes, if you do drink.
And not ridiculous, absolutely horrendously expensive, from what I'm told.
Yeah. So
like 10 quid a pint or something.
So they would have to. Is there any restrictions to the movement of alcohol across borders?
I don't think so. It's mainly going into Norway, especially it's going into Europe, isn't it? You can't take your fresh fruit, veg, meat, and all them sort of things. Yeah. But I don't think there's an issue with alcohol. The other thing you need to consider if you've got a dog is it's very similar to this country. If you're going into Norway, it's got to be wormed at least 24 hours I think it's 24 hours and 5 days before you go there, and you have to have proof of that. And if you go out and come back like we did, you may have to have proof again of it. So just be careful if you dip into Finland and then come back into Norway again to see something. The border control there are border controls, and they were very nice people. We didn't have any problems, but technically you could get a fine, well, not a fine, but you wouldn't be allowed to take your dog back in until it was done. I think they offered to do it for about 700 krona or 7,000 krona, I can't remember what it is. There was a website, there was somebody on a YouTube channel, I won't mention them, but they nearly got the dog taken off them. And they said the option was to go back to Denmark straight away, something like 7,000 kroner to have the dog sorted, but he would go into quarantine for so many days, or they destroy the dog. And that was the 3 options they give them. So she was absolutely in bits, but that's because she didn't plan. If you take a cat, it doesn't need a worming tablet, but it does need all the other vaccination things.
Rabies certificate and a health.
You've got to have your AHC or your pet passport as you would with a dog, but it's just Norway and UK that insists on this worming tablet before it comes back into the country. For dogs. Not sure about ferrets, even.
Oh yeah, you got charged on ferry for a cat that didn't even get out at motorhome.
Yeah, you get charged. Yeah.
We're not taking risks, so we owned up to it. It's about 80 quid on one ferry.
It was ridiculous price on one ferry.
And then to others, they weren't bothered, were they?
No.
All local ferries, it was just the big one.
A lot of the local ferries now are free as well from 1st of July last year. If it's got less this year, 2022, the local ferries which have got less than 100,000 passengers are mainly for local people, they've become free. So again, depending on how many ferries you're going to go on, it might be worth looking to see whether you're going to get cheaper, whether it's worth having a toll pass. on ferries. Ours was, and I wasn't sure at the moment, but at the time, but the ferry from Bordeaux to the Lofton Islands is a 2 hour ferry, 2 or 3 hour ferry.
Yeah.
So it's a long ferry, and I got 50% on that one as well. I didn't know whether I would do or not, but you do. So it was
worth going.
It was well worth it.
Very well
for
worth
us.
going on to Lofton Islands. Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Oh, the last thing then to mention is some of the attractions, I suppose. Things like the Husky Cafe.
Well, yeah. Jeanette loves the Huskies Cafe at Tromsø.
I had to mention that because they were great.
And they're open during the summer months as well.
Yeah.
And the dogs, they tell you about how they breed the dogs and what they do with the dogs. I mean, they're done for sled pulling, but they have a racing team as well and stuff. And they do adopt certain dogs out or adopt. Yeah, they sell some of the dogs to people as well. Some of the pups, and you can go and see them and get in with them and stuff, and they're very friendly.
I suppose
Stinks a dog like, but
well, it would do, wouldn't it? But as far as attractions go, it's personal to different people, and you need to do a bit of research for what's en route. We were.
A lot of the attraction, if you keep
landscape.
Yeah, it's a landscape, and if you keep away from the really expensive Flam and all them sort of places.
Flam?
Yeah, it's the railway going up the mountain, which is a major tourist attraction. They're actually quite cheap or free. A lot of the waterfalls, all the waterfalls we went to were free, weren't they?
Yeah.
There was no not like perhaps in this country where it's behind a pub and you want to go and see it, you have to pay a fortune to go and see the waterfall. They're just free.
Reindeers come to you.
Yeah, reindeers come to you, or don't get out of your way.
That's some people's fear, but there are signs up to tell you when there's reindeer in the area, and you just have to keep your eyes wide open. And
I've seen otters, so you speak to some of the local people, you can see for wildlife, you don't see a lot, but once you start looking and you ask people, the wildlife is there in abundance. I did see an otter one day, because I was told there was otters in this particular area. We was at a free park up where we didn't know about it, but there was something like up to 30 odd sea eagles during
the locals
springtime, when the eagles brought the babies over to teach them how to, well, not fish, but how to catch birds out of the air.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a big kittiwake colony where we were, and there was a snowy owl apparently, and there was another owl there. What he said when we were there, but I saw it, but I missed what he said. A long-eared owl, I think it was. So there are places to go and see wildlife as well. Yeah,
but you'll definitely see reindeer.
Well, definitely if you're going up north.
You'll definitely see birds of different varieties. You'll be lucky to see a moose unless you go on and talk to somebody who knows where they are.
Mooses are difficult to get, and there's also musk oxen as well, which are difficult. We went to the area where the musk oxen were, but we didn't see them, and somebody else we know was paid to go to see the musk oxen, and they didn't see them because there's only a few about. But you've also got the opportunity in Finland to see wolverines, potentially quite rare, but you can see them. Wolves, the European wolf, and bears.
If you're prepared to sit for 5 hours in a hide.
And if you don't know, if you haven't watched our videos, there you can see them in our videos.
It was well worth.
Well, the bears, but not the wolverines.
It was well worth waiting 5 hours and sleeping in a grotty hide. What was that? Oh, it's just Jack. Found another toy. And
as for Finland, it was quite flat, wooded, wet, as in lakes. Wasn't spectacular scenery, but it was different.
Because there was a lot of trees, weren't there? A lot of wooded land. Yeah.
Sweden, we quite like that east coast of Sweden because there's a lot of islands. It's very similar.
Oh yeah.
To Norway. except it's flatter, but loads of islands, and it's supposed to be really nice. So we'd like to go there again at some point.
We'll probably go up that east coast of Sweden and then come back down the west coast of Norway. But Norway, it almost became too good to be true. There was so much beautiful scenery around every corner. We could have just kept the video going all day. It was unbelievable, and you almost needed a break from it because it got, you know, you sort of started to say, oh yeah, it's just another lake, another mountain, another waterfall, but every one was beautiful
and different.
But yeah, after 3 weeks of seeing it, we needed to just have a break from it. But you would if you were somebody who goes into cities. We couldn't be bothered going into cities. I mean, if you can be bothered and you'd have to go to slower pace, add on some more weeks, and catch local buses and just go down into the local town and back. But taking a motorhome in wasn't an option for us. Can't be bothered. Can't bother with faff.
And Father Christmas Village in Finland was.
Go in the winter.
Ugh.
Go in the winter. It's not your thing, but
well, it's not my thing. No, I'd rather be at Disney.
Yes, in summer.
And I don't even like that.
Yeah, in summer it was a bit drab. It was just not geared up for a summer visit.
It was half. Well, I'm not saying half. Some of the stuff were broken, and it was just tired.
Yes.
Very tired.
But in winter, when it's got the
snow
and
slush,
loads of kids everywhere looking
20,
very excited, and -20, it'll be a different place altogether. Anyway, we don't want to leave on that note. So this guy here has planned trips all over the world, and this is one of the first places that he's actually said we'll go back here. So it must be good in terms of scenery and driving. It's brilliant. And the Norwegians are very welcoming to motorhomes.
Oh yeah.
By providing all the services that you need regularly along route, and some of them are for free. Even the laundry, we had a free laundry.
The only basic rule is don't park within 300 metres of a property or something. It was.
Yeah, and you wouldn't do that anyway.
It's just.
Yeah.
Just so easy.
All the picnic sites are massive, so you're not in anybody's way. And it's such a big place that everybody's spread out. You know, even
there's a few places where you can't camp, but it was just so good. We averaged in the whole 7 weeks £17 a night.
Yeah.
That's what our average was, finance-wise.
We basically free parked for 2 nights and then went onto a site for 1, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then free parked and then for another couple, and then on average. Yeah. Right, but if you've only joined us, I know this is a bit late saying this, but if I do it separately, you can maybe tack it on at the beginning. If this is, if you've only just joined us, this is the last video of about 13, 12, 12?
10.
10, all right. 9 out of 10 videos of our Norway, Finland, Sweden trip, and this is the last one. The others all show you what we've just described in this video, where we went. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to go and finish off this Norway. Mull one, because we're on our last day of the Mull trip today. So we're going to start on that next. Yeah? Yeah,
I think there'll only be one video of the Mull.
Yeah, it's only it,
Yeah. Well, and then we go to Costa Rica.
Yep.
But not in the van.
Not in the van, no. No. Okay. So, from Jeanette and Phil at Wendy Way, see you soon. Bye.